we're easing into the Sunday. Because first, I have to start off with a little apology. If you have emailed me in the past week, I was out of town. I just got back in town from Los Angeles. I was at a gigantic YouTube conference, and I was, kissing hands and shaking babies and doing all that good stuff that you're supposed to do when you're hanging out with people that are in the same field as you. So that's what I was doing. And so I've been slacking, but I will be getting back to you today or tomorrow. I promise you. I promise you. Well, if you haven't noticed the headlines in the news recently, the mortgage interest rates are like jumping all over the place. It's like it was 6.5, then it was 7, 7.5, 7.6, 7.2. They're all over the place, but they're staying in the sevens. What does this actually mean for us if you're trying to buy or sell a home? Is this going to be the great thing that happens if you're trying to buy a house and you want to buy it at a discount? Because everybody knows if the interest rates go up, then home prices come down. It's just typical. And what does that actually mean? Will you have a lesser of a payment? In a lot of cases, you're going to be surprised. So without further ado, we do have a special guest. You guys might remember her. She was with me at Vid Summit in Los Angeles, and I ran into her. And the first thing I said was, Jackie Baker. There she is. Jackie Baker from New Jersey.
Hello, Kristina Smallhorn. How are you?
Fine, Jackie. So we're gonna have a little coffee talk today with Jackie Baker.
Yes, we are.
Mortgage interest rates, because that's what's happening. And I know that your state actually has the most foreclosures in the United States. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you and I were talking about this. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. Why is it that you have so many foreclosures in your area? Why is it? What makes your state have so many?
I think it's so damn expensive to live here,
Okay.
And I think as far as jobs go, I know a lot of companies have moved out of Jersey, and that's a big problem. But I just think our taxes, we have one of the highest taxes in the country. And the price is going up, and it's just, yeah. I just think it's a combination of all those things. It's hard to afford anything here, and I think that's what's doing it. Now, keep in mind, the foreclosures, we were always ranked one of the highest states for many years. I would say since the crash in 2008. I mean, we did come back down a little bit, but now it's back up again. And where was I going with this? But I just think that yeah, that's a big problem. And this is what I was going to say. New Jersey court system is so backlogged, and it was backlogged prior to the pandemic. So now it's even worse. So anyone who's looking for a discount right now, like even when I'm searching on multiple listing and I see foreclosures, I just look anywhere for foreclosures. They're all sitting in the courts right now. There's not a ton available for sale yet, but there's a lot that are just hanging out in the courts. And I think they're all going to be hitting the market probably in the next couple of years. So
in the next couple of years. And that's what I was going to get to, the point of,
Yes.
like, even though we're the Fed loved, good old Jerome Powell, but he said that he was going to remove another 1.3 million jobs to tank the jobs market to make homes more affordable, which I still think is a terrible plan. But anyways, that's the point of foreclosures, though. So even if someone was to lose their job today, I know that New Jersey has an extensively long foreclosure process. I don't know if they were ranked number one. I think Hawaii was, but from the time that you've actually stopped paying to the actual getting to foreclosed for it to go back on the market for resale, how many years is that in New Jersey? Because on average, it can take like as little as 6 months, depending on the state, but as many as like years and years and years. Like,
so it's the same. It's the same thing. Like it would
6 months in Jersey?
No, not 6 months. No, but it's years. You're saying it take as long as years. I mean, we're talking 3 up to 7 years. It depends, but it's years. Don't expect that, somebody's going to stop paying for a few months and then they're going to start the process. And, within a year, it's going to go back on the market as a foreclosure. That's not happening. It's years. And it's been that way for a while.
The only way it goes by really fast if it was one single payer, like there was only one person on the mortgage,
Mhm.
they lost their job, they didn't go through bankruptcy, they just lost their job and didn't pay their mortgage. That
Right.
process is a lot easier. Once you get married, then you have to add
Yep.
a lot of, and then if that married couple's getting divorced, then you add pretty much another year. And if they went bankrupt while they were getting divorced and get their house foreclosed on, that can take up to 10 years.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
bankruptcy throws a whole wrench in the process too. That's big problem, and
problem.
yeah, you're not gonna get it overnight. So for those people who are, like, looking for foreclosures right now, you're gonna have to wait a little while, before they come hit the market, at least
Now,
here in Jersey.
do you have HUD Home Store right there?
No.
Okay, so HUD Home Store is it's national. It's in every single state you can go over there. And then what it is like FHA, VA, foreclosures, right? They
Mhm.
get pre-inspected and then you can auction or, bid on one of their houses. Now, the good thing about that specific type of a foreclosure website is the fact that they take um like an individual single family owner first, like someone that's gonna owner occupant, they're gonna take them first. And then they'll look at an investor after like 14 to 16 days. Sometimes it's even extended out because they really don't want investors to purchase these houses. They want the owner occupants. You
Right.
owe, and even if an investor was to come in at the same time you would came in with an offer, and even if that investor's offer was even higher, they'd still try to work with the purchaser that's going to be living in that house above the investor. So it's something to look at, especially if you have a lot of foreclosures in your area. Look at HUD Home Store because they've got the least amount of fees when it comes to auctions. There's not a lot of like riffraffy weird addendums or anything. They, don't get me wrong, they got some addendums and it is a lot more paperwork, but
Right.
it's not as weird as some of these auction sites. Some of them are really weird. They have you sign all sorts of documents. I'm like, I don't know what you're signing. Some of the stuff
Yeah.
is crazy. But look,
Oh,
there's right
there
here.
we go, look at that.
125,000, look at there, and if you, like, actually, like, click on the, property case number there, Eddie, click on that, it will show you they've done a pre-inspection on those properties, and you can see, all the details about the properties, um, you'll be able to see the addendums that are attached, like, that little tab that says addendums will have, like, the property disclosure and what they know is known about the house that they have done through their initial inspection. That should never, ever, ever, ever be your sole inspection. You have
Right.
your own inspector go in there and look at that house to know what's wrong with it. But yeah, I mean, look at that.
Cool.
1,772 square feet for $125,000.
That's ridiculous. Oh my
Yep.
god. Yep.
Yep. And
That's all right, that's a cool thing, thanks for sharing.
yeah, everybody should know this because,
Yes.
there isn't any additional fees. Now, you do have to be a HUD certified agent to be able to sell HUD homes. It used to be that, like, you got a key, you got a, like, special HUD key that will only, open up HUD houses.
Right.
Um, but it's not hard if you are a real estate agent in the area and you wanna become a HUD certified agent. You
Okay.
just go and fill out their application, and then you have to, there's, like, a little interview type thing that just you fill out the whole thing. Your broker has to sign off on it, and then you can be a HUD certified agent. There's nothing extra about it, just some extra addendums. It's
Right.
no different than
Okay,
any other foreclosure website. So,
cool.
just for everybody to know that
All
real
right,
estate
great.
agents and the public, and if you are the public and you don't want to work with a real estate agent, that's fine. You don't have to do that. You can just go through Head Home Store. Now, they may recommend a real estate agent that's HUD certified, that they say, hey, this is one of our HUD certified agents. We really recommend that you work with them. So just take it. I mean, it's free to you if you're a buyer anyway, so it doesn't mean anything.
Cool.
Oof,
Thank
so
you.
just, you're welcome. Welcome. So, all right, let's get into our first article because I want to pull this up. I think it's the MSNBC one. Because and I'm going to show you as an audience that we're not the only country that's going through this. As much as I love to bust on Jerome Powell and his nonsense and some of the stuff he says, we're not the only one. So I'm going to show you some of the headlines beyond this one. This is the here and of course, the United States. Mortgage refinance drops 22-year low as interest rates surge even higher. The average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed rate mortgages with conforming loan balances of $647,000 or less increased to 6.52 from 6.25. Well, it's not too bad. This was from Wednesday last week. Applications to refinance a home dropped to 11% for the week, and were 84% lower than the same week a year ago. Well, when you increase interest rates double than they were last year, that's going to happen. Mortgage applications to purchase a home decreased 0.4% for a week, where 29% lower the same week a year ago. Not surprising because of the interest rates. So we're going to scroll down. An interesting statistic I want to throw out there. I don't know if they'll put this in this article, but the amount of homes going on the market, 19% of homes withdrew their house. Another 19%, and we're 19% fewer homes on the market for this time last year, by the way. So 19% of people that had their house on the market, they're like, forget it. And they took their house on the market. And then we're still 19% lower than we should be for this time of year because people are like, I'm not putting my house up on the market. What? No, I'm not going to drop the price. So mortgage rates drove higher last week after the Federal Reserve signaled it would be continuing to aggressive action to cool inflation. He says, tamper down. We're going to tamper it down. Temper it down. That and rising uncertainty in overall housing market caused mortgage applications to drop 3.7% last week compared to the previous week, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association seasonally adjusted index. That sounds like mouth garbage right there. After a strange rebound the week before, applications to refinance home declined 11% for the week and were 80% lower than the same week 1 year ago. Now they are now at a 22-year low because there are fewer borrowers who can benefit from refinance at today's higher rates. That is that's one of those sectors that I talked about in my last video is the mortgage companies. If you lay off a bunch of mortgage brokers who were doing the refi business, which mortgage companies that folded under that made their whole thing about the refi, that was just dumb business planning on their end. I'm sorry. Like I feel bad for the people that got involved with that company. But when you look at a company to work for and their whole mortgage business is all about refis, that's a terrible, terrible business plan. But when you think about this, so if you're a mortgage broker and you're not doing as many refis, it's a trickle down effect, right? So it doesn't just affect the mortgage brokers and that company that lost the jobs. It's going to affect appraisers too. So appraisers aren't doing as many appraisals because there's not many people refining. And then if you have those, you have a lot less home inspectors that are having to inspect homes, during this time as well. So this is going to hurt a lot of people. And Jerome Powell said, we thought about that when we came up with some of these plans of action,
Right.
we thought about it. But, like this is one of those things we're going to have to, fight through it. I'm like, you're not going to have to fight through anything, buddy. You just stand up here and read some numbers.
Exactly. Exactly.
The last housing market, who was the last crash, who was affected by it most?
Who was affected by it most?
Yeah.
All of us. Everybody was.
The little guy. Yeah.
The little guy, exactly.
The big hedge funds, the banks, they all went, oops, we made a real bad investment choice. We really made a big mistake. So, sorry. And then the rest of us had to pick up their BS,
I know.
And we scooped it all up and, we're eating beans and rice. My kids are like, will not touch these little bean things. They won't touch them because during that time, my husband lost his job. I'm in the real estate business of all things.
Too. Yeah, my husband lost his job. Yep.
You think Jerome Powell's going to be eating beanie weenies with his toddler children? No, or his grandkids? That's what we did in order to save the banks. And not that I know I'm whining and I'm rambling.
Okay. You're allowed to whine. It's okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to get your opinion about this, but I want Eddie to scroll through some of the headlines of the articles of the other interest rate problems that are happening in other countries, because this is comical. So want to give some feedback there, Jackie.
I thought you were waiting for
Jackie. No, I'm waiting for you.
Okay, I thought you were putting up the articles first. Yeah. So like you said in the beginning, we're not the only one. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you, this scares me a little bit that the rest of the world is experiencing this too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. He says
What?
you can feel the fear in the UK. Borrowers face up to broken mortgage market.
Yeah.
The financial turmoil in Britain has led to soaring interest rates, prompting many lenders to withdraw products and stoking worry among homeowners about rising costs. So I didn't know this, and I don't know if you know this, but in like someone from Canada was telling me that when they get a mortgage, it resets every so often. So you have to refinance at whatever the new rate is. So say you had a
Wow.
mortgage, so it was like every 5 years it resets. So you have to refi.
I didn't know that.
I the I'm not sure about this, but this was somebody that was telling me this at Vid Summit. Like he that's what he has to do. I don't know if that's his specific mortgage
Right.
package that he has, but I mean, like, I was like, oh.
That's for everybody? I mean, that's just like, so you're getting into everybody has to get an arm loan there? Like, I don't that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like they have a fixed rate type thing, but this is what see, he's a YouTuber, but he was telling me how his mortgage works and that every few years he goes, what are people going to do now that it's reset? I'm like, well, if they have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, they just pay that, 2.5% for
Right.
the life of the loan, the 30
Yeah.
years. He's like, really? They get it the whole time. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, wow, that's a really good deal. And I'm like, yeah, and it's a government backed loan too. It's government insured. He's like, the mind was blown, but I
Oh
don't know if
my
they have something like
God.
that in Canada.
So, oh, okay, rising inflation in Britain. So you know what? Their situation scares me even more. I mean, how are people going to afford that then if they're going to be adjusting the rates every 5 years? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and energy bills. Did you hear about this too?
Yeah, I'll get to
That
that in just a second. So it says
yeah.
customer prices are still rising at about the same about the fastest pace in 40 years, despite small drop at 9.9% in August. Interest rates on September 22nd, the Bank of England raised its key rate by another half a percentage point to 2.25 as it tries to keep high inflation from becoming embedded in the nation's economy. Energy bills to soar. Gas and electric prices for most British households are set to rise 80% this fall. Further,
That's insane. That is at I feel for these people. How the heck are they going to afford all this? I mean, we got a notice from our gas company, PSE&G, where they're going up 25%. Our gas bills are going up 25% this winter, and this is 80%. Holy crap. Sorry. That's scary. Sorry.
so we had a talking about energy bills. Even here, I think the highest we ever paid was like just a hair over 200. Like that's in the dead of the heat. And I think the highest one because of the gas prices and everything was like near. I think it was. Hey Eddie, how much was it? Was it $425, something like that? And he was like, oh, he's like, you're gonna have to turn up. I'm like, we're at 78.
405.
405.
Wow. Oh my God.
Mhm. Investor worries the financial market has been grumbling with the unease about Britain's economic outlook. The government has plans to freeze energy bills and cut taxes. Is not easing the concern. So the government has a plan to freeze energy bills and cut taxes. I wonder what they mean by freeze. So like here, if freeze means that you may not have to pay for those few months, but they're going to take those few months and spread them across, the other months that you were paying. Do you understand what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah. Okay. Because I was thinking maybe they just freeze it at a certain price, And I don't know.
So you
That's
just like crank up the air at 64 degrees and wait till it hits 200 and it doesn't matter anymore. And you invite over the whole neighborhood because they're going to stop it at 200. That doesn't seem like a good plan. There has to be consequences.
No. Yeah, well, anything that the government has a plan for, I don't trust it. So just my thoughts.
Well,
So,
I always like who's paying the piper to vote for this, like why did they vote this way? And then
I
I
know.
look it up. Then I
I
look up
know.
who's paying them. So,
Uh,
we do have some questions coming in. I do want to address the fact that I know that we had a catastrophic hurricane that hit Florida not too long ago. I've been donating to some friends on Facebook that have been hit by it because it was so tragic. But they were asking me about the housing market when it affects a hurricane. I've seen my fair share here. So How it looks here in Louisiana after a hurricane is that the first like 3 months is people just trying to get their lives back in some way, shape, or form. And then that whole process of fighting with the insurance companies to get the repairs done. It's a long and slow road. Some people's homes will be totaled, and the ones that
Mhm.
are closest to the area that would be the considered the disaster area that are in perfect shape, if they go up for sale, they go up for sale very quickly and they're off the market very quickly because people are just ready to kind of move on with their life, to start over. So,
Mhm.
that's just something to look out for. Do not, uh, if you're going through this process, make sure you document everything, film everything, and make sure you send it to your insurance company because they will try to say, well, we're not sure, or, how do we know that wasn't there before? I mean, like, really, it's a Cat 4 hurricane that hit us. How could that possibly been there? Whatever, like, just don't let them snowball you because they will try. So document everything. Document, 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 document. Every time you go and buy something for the house, just to be able to go through and look at some of the stuff, any kind of tape, hold on to all of that. And so you can document that in the future. Make a spreadsheet of all the costs, keep all your receipts, anything you do for your home, for yourself, to keep a document of those receipts so that way you can get paid back.
No, that's good advice. I
Thank
feel for those people right now.
you.
Oh my God, I'm looking at the pictures on the news. Oh my God, it's
This is
terrible.
I'm gonna shoot this to you first, okay? So, do you think prices won't come down significantly because of the low supply? People won't sell because they are at a low interest rate, and it won't trade up for a higher rate. So, what is your opinion? Um,
Definitely not. They're not gonna come down significantly, and I just recorded my video I'm posting this week, and I said this, where, yeah, the rates are higher, but I don't think everyone's like, "They're gonna come crashing." No, they're not. It's not gonna come crashing down. I don't know, because of that exact problem, because the people who have the low interest rates, like here in New Jersey, I think, like, 50% of homeowners, like, their mortgage rate is below 4%. Where are they going? Why would they trade up to buy another house, but spend it cost that's gonna cost them more, and now we're gonna be at 7% interest? Yeah. No, they're not
like,
gonna do it. But I agree with
well
that statement. The inventory is gonna remain a problem because of these interest rates. That's
well,
my
here's the other way to look at it too. So, say somebody bought a house at the height of the market and they bought it for $200,000. They
right.
bought it at 2.5%, right?
Yep.
So, then you see this house come in the market right now and it's dropped down $100,000 and you're thinking, "Suckers, you bought it 200,000, I'm getting it for 100,000." And you go and get that bank loan at 8%, and then you see your payment. And if you compare the two payments, you're actually only paying $56 less than the person that purchased it for $200,000. Over the life of the loan, actually, that person that bought it for 200,000 is paying less to the bank than the person that bought it for $100,000.
Right. That's
So
right.
so, like, even though let's just say they were cut in half, if you have a 13% interest rate or a 10% interest rate, you're not winning. You're not winning. Nobody's winning this. The sellers aren't winning
Mhm.
because they lost out their equity. The
Yep.
buyers aren't winning because 'cause they're paying more to the mortgage company.
Yep.
And if you're hoping and praying that, like, "Well, I bought it for half price and eventually the interest rates will come down," when will that possibly happen? Who
Right.
knows? We may be sitting at high interest rates for many years, and you've been paying like 5 years at 8, 9, 10%.
Mhm.
Um, like, and I kinda like the whole, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but I always call them the housing crash bros that are like, "It's all gonna crash. Yeah, everybody's gonna be taken down." Like, why do you think that's a good thing? Why are you hoping and praying that this whole thing collapses?
Right.
And the people lose all of their money. I believe that people I mean, I get it. Like, they wanna find an affordable home. The house down the street that used to be 150,000 should not be at 300,000. I completely understand that. But we
Mhm.
do not have enough supply of houses on the market of those size houses to combat, the inflation rate that has happened with home prices.
Right.
We need more houses, more affordable homes, those 3-bedroom, 2-bath in most areas. The areas that are gonna get hit and will have a more, balancing when all this, the smoke clears are places like Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, um, uh, Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas. I mean, all these areas that have extensive home building constantly, right?
Yep.
They're always building, building, building. But areas like mine where we don't have a ton of new construction, probably areas like yours that don't have a ton of new construction, they're not going to, even if they did have a price drop, it's not going to be so significant that with the increase in interest rates, it's going to make any difference whatsoever.
No,
So,
it's not. It's not. And I was out with new buyers yesterday too. And that's the hope of all these buyers that are entering the market. They're like, so do you think they're going to come down? Do you think we're going to, I'm like, not to where we were pre-pandemic. No, it's not going to happen. And this one buyer who I met a year ago at 3% interest, he was able to afford up to $800,000. Yesterday, we're looking at a house for like a house is between 575 and 600,000 because that's what he can afford now. And it's
yeah,
just,
because it's not the price, it's the payment.
it's the
right?
payment. Exactly.
Mhm.
Like, so now their budget, right? So they had a budget, I think like between 4,000 and 4,500. Now that can only get them a house for 600,000.
Backwards. So
Yeah,
you had
right. Exactly.
backwards.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's, I know. That's like, get so confused.
You
But
you have LA brain.
I do. I'm still on LA time. But
Uh,
that's the, but that's the general thing, the feeling out there. Like there's that hope. Like, do you think the price is going down? And I was out with this other buyer who had her dad with her. And the
mhm.
dad was like, well, it's going to crash, isn't it? I'm like, no. Can we all get that out of our head? Stop watching the news. Stop looking at these, the clickbait online. Yeah, it's just, it's something I deal with every day. But
I'm gonna share something funny with everybody on here because I just realized. Well, I said, well, I'm gonna be comfortable today on this live stream because I'm just getting back. I'm just gonna go in my pajamas. I have a stack full of sleep shirts. I just sleep in shirts. My husband bought me this T-shirt, and I didn't. It was one of those things. I'm just gonna throw in my sleep shirts. And when I read the words, I was like, this is terrible, right? Didn't even think about it. So I get in front of here, and I was just about to take this off because it's hot, and then I saw which T-shirt it is. I'm so embarrassed.
a dirty mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Why my husband bought me this, I have no
Jeez,
idea.
Daddy.
I know. And I'm so embarrassed right now because I'm like, oh, I wore that shirt on a live stream. And I know somebody had to see it. So I'm like, I got to fess up to it,
Oh
I
my
did not buy
God.
this T-shirt. My husband did. I guess he thought it was funny. I don't know.
Oh my God,
Even my
Eddie.
mom saw this. She goes, really? Is it really a thing to waste? I said, I don't know. Apparently my husband just felt like I needed a T-shirt that said that, whatever.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right, next question. Eddie's been real quiet behind the scenes there.
Yeah, really.
Question. Joanne has a question. Said, what should you do if you have a promo rate for 12 months for a HELOC, and the 12 months rate will go up to whatever the normal rate is and adjust from there? What would you do? I haven't. Do you have anything that you would like to say, or should I jump in?
Jump in. I want to hear what you think.
A HELOC is one of those things that every person that has equity in their house should always have. It is so inexpensive to have,
Mhm.
and you never know when you can need it. It is easily accessible equity that you have in your house that when you do need it, if you don't have it, you'll regret it, right?
Yeah.
So I always say, have your HELOCs. Always have a HELOC. They're going to be, as home prices drop, they're going to be more difficult to get a hold of. That's what happened in 2008. No matter how much equity you had in your house, it was like kind of like pulling teeth to get a HELOC loan.
Mhm.
You should always have one.
Yep.
Like you never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever know what you're going to need it for.
Yep.
And when you do need it for something, you're thankful for it.
Yep.
Just be wise with it. Don't use it like an ATM. Don't think this is like free money that you don't have to pay back, or I'll get to it the next time because I might be getting a bonus. Don't do that. It's no different than a credit card, but you could lose your house if you don't, pay this back. I think that, like that what you're asking about is pretty typical with a HELOC. They give you those intro rates, 12 months, it resets to the market rate. Just be smart about it. You should always have one.
I agree. We bought a car with our HELOC once because we
Mhm.
needed it. So they are good to have for sure. But of course, we paid it off a lot, paid it off really fast. I mean, we needed it and then just paid it off because it was so much cheaper than doing a car loan. So
Yeah.
that was years ago though.
Yeah. Thank you,
So
Joanne. That was a great question.
yeah.
I defend myself.
About it, sure. Jerry Bruce said, it's okay. You're onto YouTube. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Eddie's going to put up the next question for us. I think I've embarrassed him. We can't tell. Oh, Joanne has another question. Is it a terrible time to build? What is the fastest option to get a home now? Do you think it's a terrible time to build?
I don't think so. I mean, especially now, if you're working, with the big time, with those big builders. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of incentives. That's what I'm hearing from people. I mean, we own some property in Delaware, and Delaware is like blowing up. They're building like constantly.
Freaking Delaware.
What's
Ugh,
that?
freaking Delaware.
Oh no, no, it's the lower Delaware by the beaches. I gotta tell you, it's nice. It is. But the community we purchased a home in last year. So they have, oh my God, they have so much inventory now, and they're just offering ridiculous incentives. They've dropped, not only they reducing the prices, but the incentives, I think it was like, I don't know, 20,000 towards closing costs. Closing costs they're expensive in Delaware.
Closing cost.
Closing costs. Like
yeah, coffee not closing cost.
So yeah, if you're looking to go buy from a builder, like a Toll Brothers or Hovnanian or Lennar, they're offering a lot of incentives now, and I think it'd be a good time if you can get new construction if you have it in your area. So
I have a difference of opinion.
Okay, go ahead. Tell
me. If I was to go into a builder's office and build from scratch, I'd rather have my eyes chewed out by dull-toothed hamsters with rabies. There's no way I would do that. No way. But if they had a house that was a spec house that was already built, as long as I had not one, but 2 home inspectors go through that house with a fine-tooth comb, then I would work the builder. And how I would work the builder is they have this existing home. Interest rates are really high. I'll buy it for your price. If you buy down my mortgage interest rate, right? Yep. I don't want to pay 6.5%, 7.5%. Buy down 2-3 discount points. And you can keep your price where it's at. So your comps stay in line. Yep. But you buy down my discount points so I don't have to pay more to the bank. And that's a win-win for everybody. And if you're in that spot, and like, I'm going to tell you this, if you're a seller and you're not like really keen on dropping your price, to incentivize buyers to buy your house, instead of dropping your price, give them discount points on their interest rates. So then your comps stay in line with the neighborhood. The buyer gets a better deal because they're paying less on interest rates. They have a lower payment because of those interests. Like, that is the smartest thing you can do. Yep. The very smartest thing you can do. But
yep,
I know. Let's see if anybody listens to me.
No, but we talked about that last week, and it was so funny when I got home. A lender that I do a lot of business with, he sent an email to all of his clients sharing that exact scenario that you just said, that this is a great, because you're so smart.
I'm always thinking, man.
You're brilliant. But he said the same thing, and think about it, because in the scenario he shared, so say the buyer wants to offer $30,000 less than the list price, but she'd be paying more at the current interest rate at that lower price than if the seller offered to pay for 3 points, right? But kept the list price, the original list, 30,000 higher. Her monthly payment was lower at
100%.
the actual list price, right? So yeah, that's genius. This
is, there's some days I look in the mirror and I'm like, man. I'm totally joking, people. Totally joking.
No, but you're smart. You're a smart chick. I've always said that.
Chrome Homestead is a longtime subscriber, comes to all the streams, and he has an opinion because he is a Brit. So he says the new prime minister has wrecked the economy. 40% of mortgage products withdrawn. Interest rates jumped. Valuations reduced. Sellers panicked, reducing prices. Lenders are canceling offers. Well, I'm sure they're canceling offers
Ooh.
because of the interest rates, right? I'm sure. And how did the prime minister, like, did the prime? I don't know how it works in the UK. Do you have like somebody like we have a Jerome Powell that stands up there and tells us what he's doing to tinker with the economy? Is it the prime minister in Britain or in the UK that adjusts the mortgage rates or the interest rates? Is it solely on them to do it? I was unaware. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a question. Are we saying lenders canceling offers? Does that mean what is that? I'm not sure I understand that.
I
Lend
do. So you have an offer that comes in, right? The buyer and the seller have signed off on it, goes to the
Yeah.
lender. The interest rates have fluctuated in and out so much that now the buyer can no longer qualify. So they're canceling the offer because they can't do the paperwork for it.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay. So no, that's not how we do it here. I always tell my people, like, go back and talk to your lender, make sure you can afford this now. I just had that yesterday. I'm like, you got to talk to your lender, make sure you can afford to offer that price. So that's why I'm like, that never, I'm sorry. It's just
yeah,
never
no, I
happened.
wasn't.
I know.
I was just.
You're fine.
I was just listening to you say offer, coffee,
Offers.
talk.
You just want me to keep talking. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Next question, Edward. I wonder if he fell off the face of the earth. Oh, he took it off. There he goes. He's gonna bring it back up. Ta-da-da. He the thing is that he gets like, it seems like he's going slow, but he's not, because he's not only just like bringing up the questions, he's looking up articles, and he's like looking in the chat too. So he's got a lot of little irons in the fire right over there.
He's got a lot going on, and he's doing a great job.
So Nicole says, I'm currently in the process of buying a house, and it is locked now at 5.25%, which is pretty good. Supposed to close in a couple weeks. Can the bank cancel loan offer if I don't like that rate? Can the bank close it? Well, you would be
loan if they don't like the rate. So what?
No,
Now that
they
rates
wouldn't.
are no,
No,
they can't do that.
because you locked the rate in. You
Yeah.
signed it, and they have to stay by that. You've locked the rate. Whether it could go up to 25% tomorrow, but you locked it at 5.25%. As long as it closes on or before the date that was written on the contract, they can't do a darn thing.
No, or if you have to extend the rate, so it depends on the rate lock period. So if you're approaching like the expiration of your rate lock, you can pay additional fees to extend that lock. So
Right, but it's like to pay the additional fee is worth it because
it is worth it.
Right
Right
now.
now it is for sure.
yeah. Eddie said, "Don't forget to hit the like button." I used to say "schmoosh." You got to schmoosh it, schmoosh the like button,
Smoosh it.
schmoosh.
All right, what do we got?
Bank
Bank
of England raises rates to another half point in an uncertain time. Britain is fighting inflation, which runs new fastest pace in decades. Policies to cap energy costs and cut taxes to complicate outlook. Eddie, look at some of the other countries I put out there too, because they're like, it isn't just us.
What I was trying to say was Bank of England is the one who sets it.
Oh, the Bank of England. Okay, so it's not the prime minister, but I'm sure she has her little like, you gotta do it. She has a voice.
Does she sound like that?
Oh no.
And I apologize. It's actually England Monetary Policy Committee.
Ooh, the England Monetary Policy Committee.
So that's their version of the feds, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's so weird is when they say like financial scheme, like in my vocabulary, when I hear the word scheme, I think of negative connotation. But they're just talking about it as a plan, like a scheme. But here, that's like conniving, like they're trying to do something awful. You know, I don't know. That was a slice of words here. See, Australia. I mentioned Australia with their housing market because at the beginning of the pandemic, they actually had an incentive for first-time home buyers to buy a house, and they were going to give them X amount of dollars in, closing costs in order to buy a house. Well, they had just as much activity plus some because the government money involved. And their housing prices exploded. So now Australia's housing prices are falling, interest rates soar, but analysts say there's no crash yet. And I think that's pretty much, I still maintain that we're going to be in the great stagnation, because if you even drop the prices if you drop the prices and the interest rates are so high, you're really not winning. You're not winning
Right.
anything, nothing, unless you're buying cash. And who's going to have the most deepest pockets to buy up cash houses? It ain't going to be mom and pop.
Nope.
It ain't going to
You're-
be the new family with the new baby.
Nope.
Oh no, that's going to be Mr. Hedge Fund, and they have
Exactly.
over $51 billion kind of saved off to the side, just waiting for it all to happen. Well, they're
Yeah.
going to be coming in and scooping those up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just wait for it.
Yeah, the scumbags.
It'll happen.
Scumbags. All in the name of money. You know,
I
remember
know.
that old quote that like greed is good. You remember my
Yeah.
dad just ate that up. You know, greed is good. I'm like,
What was
that's
that? Wall Street? That was the
yeah,
movie
Wall Street. I put it in a video once because I was just like, ew, this. Even then, I was like, ooh, that's icky. All right, Brazil central bank raises its interest rates, signals more to come. See, we're not the only country that's going through this. Look at that.
No. Yeah.
Brazil's central bank on Wednesday raised its interest rates by 50 basis points, in line with the prevailing market expectations, signaling another increase coming in the world's most aggressive rate hike cycle. The bank's rating settings committee, known as Copom, whatever,
Copom.
raised its benchmark Selic interest rate to 13.25, the highest level since the beginning of 2017, and up sharply from the record 2% in March of 2021. A Reuters poll last week found that 25 to 30 economists expect a 50 basis point increase. So they are already expecting it, but we're all facing it, you know, every single one of us.
Yep.
Because yeah, I mean, we couldn't walk away from this pandemic with everything that's happened and would not have a correction going on. It was just impossible. It was impossible.
Totally.
But I love how they blamed, like, all of the economy was blamed on people because we got checks. You know, like, we got checks. You know, the American public got checks. It's their fault. It's their fault. The American public, it's their fault. And they were like, it's because they put money in their savings account when they got those checks. Oh, goodness gracious. You mean that like some people were able to save money for a period of time? That is horrible. But that's okay, because we were like one of the only countries that only got like a couple of, you know, like a couple checks. You know, other countries got them every single month. But, you know, it's the American public's fault because they got government money.
Exactly.
You know? Not the PPE loans. Oh, no, it's the people that got the $175 checks.
Exactly. Oh, please don't get me started on those loans, on those PPE loans either. Oh, my God. Yeah.
500,000 Swedish homeowners may be forced to move as central bank announces doubling of interest rates. 1/3 of homeowners forced to reduce household expenditures because of interest rate hikes increase, survey shows. See, we're not the only ones.
That's just scary. Scary times, my friend. Scary times. This is, I don't know.
Not one country can you say prevailed in handling the pandemic correctly.
No.
Not one. Not one.
Nope. Definitely not.
Nobody's getting out scot-free.
Oh, look, France too. Oh my God.
Oh, this one was super interesting. This is the one I really want to share with everybody. So mortgage brokers across the channel are set to stage a demonstration on the 20th of September at the Bank of France against the rules which they believe are holding up the constraining home loan terms, according to the reports in the Times. This is what I want to watch. Ask the audience. Eddie, scroll down to the like closer to, I'll tell you when to stop, because all right. Yeah, put the new French mortgage rules in the center so we can all read them together in the center of the screen. Okay, this is the part that I found interesting, and I want to get the audience opinion on this. Since the beginning of the year, French mortgage loans have become more stringent. Both the mortgage term and the borrowing limits have decreased. In January 2022, the High Council for Financial Stability stated that mortgage terms would be set for 25 years and could extend by a further 2 years in the case of a new build off plan. In addition to the limited term length, the borrower's monthly debt ratio can no longer exceed 35% of their income. Meaning if you came in for a home loan, say, and you didn't have like only your payment could be 35% more. Like you cannot have it be at 40% or 50% of your income. It has to stay at 35%. Do you think that is a good or bad thing? And what do you think about the 25-year mortgage instead of a 30-year? That's
No.
so. What do you think about the 35% income?
I
Like
don't
you can't.
know.
I
I
think
mean,
it's
could you
smart.
make it more difficult? I mean,
I think that's smart. I think it's
Yeah.
smart. You're going to have less people being foreclosed on if only 35% of their income can purchase a house.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
It's like
But
a long-term better idea. In my opinion, that's my
yeah.
opinion, but I want to know
Yeah,
what
no,
everybody else
I
thinks.
could see that too. I could totally see that. But the term set at 25 years, it's like I don't understand the thought behind that.
Well, maybe they do like a 25 or 50-year loan, instead of a 30,
Yeah. Like what does that 5 years
we have a
really I guess because 'cause we're so used to 30 and 15, so I think that's
yeah, you're
okay.
just kind of
Gonna say, what
like,
difference
"I'm
does
not
5
used
years
to
make?
it. I don't like it," "I don't like that. It's 25 instead of 30,"
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah. So it would add a little bit more to your payment, right? Your bottom line payment per
Yeah,
month because of those 5 years.
exactly.
But if you pay an extra payment every single year, you take 5 years off your loan. So
That's
just
true.
pay. So that's just you're paying for 13 months instead of 12 months with a
Yeah.
French loan mortgage broker. So I wanted to get everybody's opinion on that if anybody's had
I'm
any
looking to see if anybody,
heard that. But Eddie will put up the next question if anybody doesn't want to answer it. Oh, here it is. Here's one. I'm going to put this one up. I'm putting this one up. If you limit the amount of
yeah.
borrower can pay by law, you also limit the number of people who can qualify for a loan. But then that means that the people that are qualified have enough money to be qualified because it's only 35% of their income. So I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like the idea, but I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what other people say. Jerry Prusa with a question: should manufactured homes be illegal in Florida? No. But and I knew this was going to come up because the news loves to show homes destroyed, and the most they just love showing homes destroyed. So a lot of homes that are in South Florida are manufactured homes and they are destroyed. But do you know what else is destroyed? Brick homes. Do you know what else is destroyed? Stucco homes. They faced a category 4 hurricane. Not much is standing after that. Not much. There's metal buildings gone. There's that type of storm, no matter where you are,
Yep.
is going to devastate an area. I mean, you got flying stuff in the air, missiles, like you put like for instance, a real estate sign with that little post can shoot through a wall at those type of winds, through stucco, through
Mhm.
brick.
Yep.
A lot of homes that are manufactured homes were they destroyed? Yes. A lot of them are still standing as well.
Yeah.
So, no, they should not be illegal. Absolutely not. They are built and they can withstand winds just like any other house as long as they were put together correctly and have hurricane straps put in there. If they were built before Hurricane Andrew, they are not built to those standards. Anything built after that, Florida made it very difficult for manufactured home companies to come back into their state after Hurricane Andrew until they made those adjustments to their homes and what they built and how they're put down and how they're strapped into to the ground, those hurricane straps.
Yep.
Anything before that, you're gonna see more damage. So no, I don't think they should be illegal. But that was a great question. I'm glad that came up. Thank you, Jerry.
Can I answer that, Christina? Do you think then, because of this, so you're saying homes that were built prior to Andrew, are they now updating the codes where those older homes are going to require those straps and, whatever?
Absolutely.
So they do have that now, those codes, or
Yeah,
no?
after Hurricane Andrew, they adjusted the building code and the
Yeah,
wind
okay.
zones and everything else. But the thing is, you can't go back. You can't retroactive tell somebody that's lived in the mobile home park since before Andrew, never had a hurricane before, other than some tree branches and some wind damage. You can't tell them that they have to go back and make their house now up to the standards of today. I mean, like you couldn't do that with a regular house. You shouldn't have to do that for a manufactured home. But
True.
when a new storm comes through, like those are the homes that are going to be damaged because they weren't built to those
Got
updated
it.
standards.
Okay.
Now if you have a manufactured home that is older and you're in one of those areas and it has survived, go and speak to a structural engineer and see if there's a way that you could strap down the house, even though you may not have those hurricane straps. They may be able to retroactive, like retrofit. That's what I meant. Retrofit those straps so that you can stay in place, instead of being swiped underneath. So just something to think about so the wind doesn't
Yep.
lift you up.
Okay, good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. I love me a manufactured home. Killian1 says, weird question. I love weird. If property values go down in one area, maybe you're including your own home, will property taxes go down? In some cases they do. Like after what was it? The last housing recession crash, we had property taxes that decreased. I wasn't unhappy about that. That was for sure.
Yeah, ours didn't.
Ours did. Not by
Yeah.
a lot. It didn't go back to what it was before, but they did decrease a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, they dropped it $100. I'm pretty happy,"
No, now a couple of towns here in Bergen County are actually, I have a listing in this one town where they're in 2023, they're reassessing the entire town again because all the values have gone up in the past 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. And so there's another town that's doing that as well. I'm like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Like the taxes aren't high enough. And now you're taking advantage of these increased values. And who is to say they're going to stay that high? Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but don't you have a cap on how much it can be raised per year? Like
yes,
okay, what's your cap?
it's 2%.
2%.
Yeah.
That's pretty typical in most
Yeah.
areas. And do you have homestead there as well?
I believe we do. I know New York does. So you mean New York, they call it the star rebate where you could get a rebate on the tax, like at the end of I forget how they paid that out. I think New Jersey has it, but yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know any details about it because we were never informed. So I really don't know. But yeah, we just pay high taxes. It's the story of our life here.
So we have homestead here and it's on one property and it's the property that you live in. So the first $75,000 of the value of your house is not taxed. Everything after that is. So you could technically buy a house for $75,000 and not be taxed on it.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have that.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, we don't have that. And then
No.
in some states as well, it's like if you're a veteran, you don't pay any property tax.
Right.
Like, and then in the county that my grandma, I believe it was my grandma lived in, because she was over the age of, I forget what it was, 75 or whatever, she didn't have to pay property taxes in her little town.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it was 75. I think they're kind of like, you paid in, lady.
Yeah,
Take a break.
Enough out of you. We'll give you a break.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We got another question, Eddie. You want to put on the screen? I know he was thanking our moderators. Our moderators coming out here every single week. Most of them spend a good hour and 15 minutes with the whole entire group of people that are here. I mean, they're so wonderful. I'm so thankful to them because they really do make the stream nice because we do get a lot of, I would say trolls, I guess would be the word. We get a lot of trolls that come in here and they just try to kind of take over the stream and they start putting, gross stuff, weird stuff, things that have nothing to do with the real estate market.
Mm-hmm.
And the moderators are there, man. They're quick with their ban hammer. Man, they'll put them in timeout. And if they continue, then they just ban them.
Awesome.
But sometimes they think it's me. Like I have time to sit there and do this as they're commenting. They're like, you banned me from the stream. I'm like, dude. I'm talking to the camera. It ain't about you. It ain't that deep. I'm not that personally attached to you. I did not ban you from my channel. Well, they took my comment. They take the comments down. I'm like, well, I can see your comments right here. You can post everything you want right here. Or, and of course he just goes on a tangent on how stupid I am. Love that. But I keep it up. I keep it up for everybody else to comment underneath it. So.
Thank God for moderators.
No, zero tolerance for disagreements. No, that isn't it. I have zero tolerance for ignorant comments. I have zero tolerance for racist comments. I have zero tolerance for things like political, chants that have nothing to do with the conversation we're having on the stream. I don't have patience for any of that stuff, and neither do my moderators. So they just go. out.
Yeah. No, as we should, because it's not a place for it. I get the same stuff on my channel too. It's like I don't tolerate it either. So
Yeah.
yep.
Question: can HUD buyers get better rates? So HUD just means housing and urban development. It has nothing to do with the rates themselves. Your lender is the one that adjusts the rate. Like qualifies you for the interest rate that you can get. But HUD has nothing to do with the homes that they're selling on their HUD home store. They don't control how much the interest rate is that you as a buyer would purchase them for. But you can get a better deal with them. Usually their foreclosures are really good. They're way below market value, and they're willing to work with you. They're not going to do a lot of things to repair items unless it was like a massive component like the air conditioning unit, or there was something electrical that was a problem. They'll address those issues, but any kind of cosmetic painting, anything like there's some siding missing on the side, they're like, forget it, we're not touching that stuff.
Yeah. Right.
They won't do that. But it's a foreclosure. It's definitely going to need a little bit of work. Some foreclosures in some states are worse than others. My state, it ain't that bad. It's a lot of like removing carpet and repainting walls, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
The worst foreclosure I've ever seen was the person who dumped cement down the toilets.
Oh my God, really?
Yep, down all the pipes. That was the worst.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So Jerry says, how do I keep all my records of costs for the insurance company when the storm just destroyed all of them? I'm talking about like right now, like your house is destroyed. Take pictures of what you're doing to your house right now. Show the items show the items that belong to you, that are part of your house, that are sitting on your lawn, right? So if you're going to have to, for instance, we had a lot of flooding here in Louisiana. You don't wait for the insurance company to come out to start removing drywall and insulation and all that stuff. You get right in there, you put on some muck boots, you cut out all the drywall, you take out all that insulation before mold starts growing, and you start drying out that house immediately, right? So if you buy box fans, you buy drywall cutters, you have to get a dumpster, all those things you keep receipts for. You have to. And then you can, by law here in Louisiana, I don't know how it is true as anywhere else, but after it's dry and you show the test, you do take a little video and you show the test where the mold spore counts are below a certain level, you can treat it yourself. There's home treatments for mold, and you can start spraying all the areas before you re-put the insulation in and put the drywall back up. But keep proof of that, not only for your insurance company, but for when you go to resell that house in the future. So they say, did this house flood during the Hurricane Ian? And you say, yes, but these are all the things that I purchased. This is how I treated it. Here's the videos where the mold spore count was below such and such. And you have proof of that. They're going to feel very rest assured. Take tons of pictures, take lots of videos. So sorry, I went on a tangent.
Nope, that's good information. A lot of people aren't going to know that.
Yeah, we've had our fair share in Louisiana. We're pros down here. Just ask a person from Louisiana; they'll tell you how to clean up after a hurricane. It's clearly being forced into a cash market with reduced prices. It's perfect for the corporate buyers with cash that self-finance and take over even more of the housing market. Think about it. No, you're exactly right, John.
Yeah,
100%. Because I said, how is this helping America at all? I'm like, oh, I get it. It's helping more rich people. I'm talking like the uber rich, the 1% that are sitting there going, oh, it's such a shame. Let them eat cake,
Yep. No, but he is right though. Just watch. See these investors coming in now. Yep.
Oh, I know. They're just salivating, and they
are chomping at the bit.
Yeah, salivating on the sidelines, waiting to scoop up as many more affordable houses as possible. Because if the housing is the jobs market tanks, usually the lowest income wage earners are the ones that are let go first. Like if a company has to downsize, who do they get rid of first? The most low paying jobs first, because they don't feel like they're essential workers so much. So your cleaning crews for a building, for instance. Like they'll bring it, and they used to have a staff of 10, they'll bring it down to 5, and they'll give those people double the work for the same amount of income. I mean, it doesn't help those people. I mean, like none of this is, I just think it's gonna, Jerome Powell is hoping that people get foreclosed on. He doesn't, like, I don't know if he's thought about that process, because if he tanks the job market, how many people will actually have to sell their house, right? How many? How many people are actually going to have to sell their house in order for that to happen? What part of the jobs market is he hoping will make home prices go down? Because he even said, he even said that, like, when all of this is in line, this will make, homes much more affordable for the rest of America. So your plan is basically to force people to not live in their houses because you took their job away. So they're forced to drop their price on their house so the next person can buy it, but at a higher interest rate. So they're going to buy that house that was now supposedly in your mind affordable, but they're paying more in interest. That doesn't make it affordable, buddy. Like, you've got it all wrong.
Yeah. Yep. He does. None of this makes sense. It really doesn't. It makes no sense.
And that's a big what if. Like, how many people, like, I keep thinking about he's thinking that other people would put their house on the market too because they're in a financial bind. But a lot of those people are going to be like, my payments are still way lower than rent. I'm just going to stay here and stick it out,
Right. Exactly. So, yeah.
He makes me very angry.
Yes.
Do you have any classes on buying and selling? I have not. Years ago, I wrote a small buying a home book, like a.
Did you really?
Yeah, specifically for Ascension Parish or Louisiana, because we have specific laws.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't thought about doing one nationally. Hey, Jackie, you want to write a book with me about?
Yeah, you want to? Let's be authors together.
And we can authors.
Let's be authors. That'd be fun.
Coffee Talk Real Estate with Jackie and Kristina.
I love it.
My first video series on YouTube, you guys can find it, was called Coffee Talk.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. That's great.
Ready for this? This was my intro. You guys ready for this? Welcome to Ascension Parish Coffee Talk, a weekly show where I talk about nothing but the town of Ascension Parish and real estate. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, and today we're going to be meeting with, and I would go to some building, like some local facility here in Ascension Parish.
That's great. Oh man, I got to go watch those.
They're terrible. The first one, I was so scared. I'm like literally reading statistics about the schools in the area.
Yeah.
And then I had my kids give a review about their school when they were little.
So my gosh.
Anyway,
that's great.
Question. We are having a manufactured home built. Congratulations. He said that if prices drop, our home will drop. What is the best way to get that in writing? Well, it is true. That is the one business that has stuck with their word. They said if lumber and materials go down, so will the price of our homes. The first time I have been alive as a real estate agent, they actually dropped the price per square foot on selling a manufactured home. But
really?
If you don't, but Penelope, if you do not have that in writing, the next time you have a conversation with them, grab out that old, recording device and be like, you did mention the fact and just record that stuff. So if it comes back to you, go, well, I have it right here, play. And if they say, well, you didn't tell us you're recording us. And then you say, it's only a one-party state. Only one person has to have authorization. And if they still won't do it, then you go ahead and put that on social media and see what happens. See what happens. I bet you get that.
You're right.
That reduced immediately.
That's real. That I didn't know that about that with manufactured homes. That's cool.
They promised that. I didn't believe it. I thought they would go flat because I never had seen them actually drop the price per square foot after they had gone up.
Yeah.
So they did. The manufactured home prices have actually come down because the materials it costs them to make them, it came down.
Wow.
I know.
Who knew? I never knew that. That's great.
Yeah, it's 100% true. You know who? Carrie Tarno actually did a video about it. He
Okay.
bought a manufactured home at the height of the market, and then it came down later. He was like, "Oof,
Oh,
oof."
man. Yeah, that's not what then it's not so great at that point, you know?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You can have, if you're working with a real estate agent, also you can have them write up an addendum and ask them to have that in writing with their sign it. Yeah, there it is.
Oh my
Look,
god.
It said your parish coffee dot. Look, I actually had twice as much hair. My hair was like really big. My hair has fallen out since then, but
Oh my god, look at
my
you.
my audio is terrible. My
But
lighting is
we chose
terrible. I did it in my
Parish strictly because of the schools. My kids are in one is in
That's so
Prairieville
bad.
Primary,
That
the other
is-
one is in Prairieville Middle. And honestly, we've been very happy with what we have gotten, and I'm so glad that we moved here. I'm never leaving.
I'm terrified.
Until my kids
All right,
have
Eddie,
moved
turn this
out
off. This
and-
is so embarrassing.
Oh my god.
That was my very first official YouTube video. I had done some like videos of home tours and stuff. I actually had another channel that was just home tours, but
Yeah.
it was just you're just walking around with your camera and
That's
stuff. It was-
great. Oh my god, you and all that hair. Oh my god.
well, my hair has fallen out. Like I have like a quarter of the hair I used to have.
Well, it's what happens when we get old, dear. We got the
Oh, I
same
don't care.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
less shampoo. It's good. Our Nicole says, can a lender cancel after the loan approval is locked? No. Nope. Unless they go to business. Or you've done something to
Right.
jeopardize the loan. So
Oh,
if you
yeah.
went out and got a car, or you went and bought a refrigerator, or went to Rooms to Go and got yourself some line of credit to get yourself a new couch for your new house,
Mhm.
then they can do it. But if you have done nothing to jeopardize your credit score or put any dings or ticks on your credit, no, they can't do it.
No, they can't. Or if you lose your job. That happened to me. I had a client literally 2 days or 3 days before he was supposed to close. And this is like the very beginning of the pandemic. He got laid off 3 days before he's supposed to close. He couldn't get the loan. Yeah. So
I had someone that didn't want us to know he got fired from his job, and we were the day of closing. And the lender let us know, because before he was like sent over the docs, the lender called and said, yeah, so we went ahead and confirmed his employment, and he was fired today, so we won't be closing. I'm like, oh, they had packed up their house.
oh
They-
my God.
Because here in the state of Louisiana, the minute you sign is the minute you get the keys, and the new owners walk right in.
Right.
So-
Wow.
Yeah. So they had everything out of the house ready to go. I was so sick to my stomach. I was going to throw up, but it instantly went under contract again. But that was a lot of hassle on there.
Oh my God. Did you represent the buyer or seller on that?
Both.
You go both? Oh my God.
That was the last time I did it. Last
Oh.
time I did it, I was like, this is stupid. This
Yeah.
is really stupid, because the buyer I thought was an idiot the whole entire time. And I was like, how can I do this ethically and represent them both fairly? I can't. I physically can't do it. So
Yeah.
that was my very last time I did it. I was like, that became a realization for me, because I knew the buyer was a moron. And I was like, I had to not say that to the sellers. Of course, I wasn't going to say, I think this buyer's a moron. But I'm like, but if I wasn't representing the buyer, would I have told the sellers that? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I was like, this dual agency thing is really the dumbest thing ever. No
Mhm.
agent, in my opinion, and if you're a real estate agent, like, I could always be diplomatic. You're a liar, first
Oh
of all.
hell
Second-
no. Yeah, you can't
Secondly,
do it.
You
Mm-mm.
cannot do it. Do not have the listing agent represent you as a buyer. Go get yourself a buyer's agent that can, go to battle for you, because sometimes these agents are tough, and they know how to write out things in contracts that can get you in trouble or get you stuck with a house you don't want. So
Mhm.
you hire yourself a buyer's agent. Don't let the listing agent represent you. Even if they say, well, it takes a little bit of money off the commission, so it will come down a little. No, there's no
No.
discount. There's no discount on this.
Nope.
There's no discount on this. Go
Nope.
get yourself your own representation. Do not let the listing agent do that. Now, I know some agents right now are like, oh, I mean, like, totally offended by this, but
Watch out, here come the trolls. They're gonna be ripping
Yeah.
you apart for saying that one. But
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
it's so
Anyway.
stupid. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Can an American buy a house in the UK for an Airbnb? That is a really good question. I can't see why not. I
Yeah.
know that someone from the UK can buy an Airbnb in the United States, but I'm not sure about it vice versa. Now, some laws in some areas are a lot easier to buy as a foreign investor. Italy makes it pretty simple, but you have to live there for like 6 months out of the year. You can
Oh,
actually purchase pieces of property in Portugal and, hold it for a period of time, but you have to move there within X amount of years before, you have to move there. You can't just after the 10-year period, if you haven't moved there, then it goes back on the market and you lose everything. So, um,
yep.
just know
Interesting.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
I know. That's where I
That's
wanna move.
pretty
I wanna move to
cool.
Portugal. I think it's wonderful. Yes, I know they had wildfires there, but it's fantastic. It's,
I've never been there. Been to Spain, not Portugal.
yeah, it's good
So
stuff. Yeah. Let's get another question up there. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Jackie Baker right here from New Jersey, she has a YouTube channel. She actually does. She has a really good YouTube channel. It's
thank
one of
you.
my favorite. I watch her all the time. And if
Oh,
you're in the New Jersey area, you're going to want to check her out. She does fantastic videos about
thank
the
you.
market. I'm
That
very
I
impressed by her. I think
appreciate that.
I always say that Jackie's going to blow up on YouTube. I really do. I think you're like you're well on your way,
I appreciate that. Well, I learned from the best, meeting you. So,
Well, some people that aren't good on camera, and you really talk to people in a real
so
way,
thank
And
you.
much like myself, I do these videos not for like the benefit. Like I just really want to help as many people as possible. I don't have like a
Exactly.
secret hidden agenda about this. And I felt like when I was watching your videos, I felt the same way about you. So if you
Yep.
haven't there, go check out
Thank you.
Jackie Baker,
Thanks,
and
Christina.
you're welcome. Check out her video. She's fantastic. I just love her. I
Thank
just love
you.
her.
You're welcome.
Uh, Peter says, with every country's rising rates in the future, when we are happy owning nothing, who will own everything?
Everything.
Elon Musk, uh,
Elon Musk.
Rupert Murdoch, uh, Bill Gates,
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Uh, and that's the whole thing. No, no, I don't even that whole thing of the own nothing, be happy is just so gross.
It's so gross.
Do you know where that came from?
No. Where'd it
The
come
World
from?
Economic Forum. They
Oh,
had said
yes.
it. So I was like, at first when I heard that, I was like, that's such baloney, like I couldn't believe it. Right. So then I started researching. I'm like, these people are sick.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to make it as like, it's all to make the world a better place. I'm like,
No, it's not.
this is all about making you more freaking money. And then you're sugarcoating it with all this like save the planet garbage. Like,
Exactly.
don't, ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What does it say?
Jackie's
Jack's
t-shirt.
t-shirt is much better than yours.
Yeah, Jackie's t-shirt's a lot better than mine. You can blame my husband on that. That's an Eddie Smallhorn.
Eddie, you're never gonna
I'm
live
throwing
it
this in the
down.
trash. Yeah, this is going in the trash. This is going in the trash. I'm never gonna be caught on camera again.
It's a
I'm
good
still in
thing
my
I do
pajamas.
laundry.
I put on makeup for this, but I was like, I'm staying in my pajamas today. I'm gonna stay comfy.
It's okay.
I love doing live streams though because they're so
Yeah.
fun.
And they are so
Serenity
much fun.
Yeah, Serenity Cow says, are there things a homeowner can do to lower their taxes, their property taxes? Not my area.
Yeah, in Jersey, you can do that. You can go and you can challenge the county or town.
Right. Yeah,
You
you
can
can
do that.
challenge them,
You
but there
can
isn't
challenge them.
anything.
Some people are successful, but the thing is, it's only good for for a year, and then you got to go back and do it again, and keep fighting your case every single year. It's really annoying. And some people, I see that here in some homes that are for sale. It says in the agent remarks that taxes are being reassessed and will be reduced to X amount of dollars. And then people get excited about it. I'm like, don't get excited because it's only for a period of time. You got to go back and fight them again to keep them low. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
possible.
I was in this small town in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and all the outside of these homes looked absolutely terrible. And I'm like, why won't anybody like like make their house look nice. And he said, oh, in this town, they just want to keep the property taxes down. If you actually walked inside, it's all remodeled and looks beautiful on the inside, but they purposely leave it looking like garbage on the outside.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So they can keep the property taxes low. Crazy, right?
That is crazy.
Yeah. But if you don't live in a subdivision, have at it,
Yeah.
but that's the only way you can drop your like property taxes. You can't. The only other thing I can think of is that, like if you had a double structure on your property, that extra structure may be adding more to your property taxes. And if it's something you don't use, you can remove it, and so then your property taxes come down. But there isn't anything like significant. It's not like increasing the value of your house, like where you can
Right.
put some new carpet and paint and then add value to your home. It's not the same as with
Right.
the tax assessor's office.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I think that's what they were asking. I could have been wrong, but there was another comment that had come up. There it is. Amber Chan says, there is a listing in my neighborhood that has been pending for 6 months. Is that common? What could be the reason? There's a million, but what do you
There's a
think?
million reasons. It
Mhm.
could be that it's pending because it could be a situation where the owner, the seller may be looking for a place to live and they're just waiting it out. It could be, I don't know, it just could be what they agreed upon as far as when they want to close. I don't know. That's off the top of my head. That's what I come up with. What do you say, Kristina?
Sometimes people will put in an offer on the house, and then their situation changes, like they're moving from another state, and they're like, oh, they're saying that we have to stay for another 6 weeks, but we still want to purchase the house. They go ahead and they do renegotiate a new contract, or they sign an extension to the contract, and they're still going to purchase it. Yeah, it's not uncommon.
Right.
It sucks, but it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's already been sold, but the agent wants their sign out there, so it's kind of like free advertising. Because, like, for instance, like it may have already closed, right? The buyers are still waiting to move in because they're doing something else. The sellers are doing a rent back to the new buyer.
Yes.
But they don't want to necessarily have a bunch of calls on that specific house, so they put it as pending, but they still have their name in front of every time that somebody drives by. So it's like kind of like free advertising. So sometimes real estate agents do that.
Yeah,
That's common.
that doesn't fly here, because the second the person, if the deal closes and that sign's on the yard, if the sign's not off the yard within 24 hours, oh my God, it's like all hell breaks loose. Like you got to get
Because
that sign up
other real estate
immediately.
agents turn them in, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's like all of our fines and anything that has to do with advertising and signs and stuff like that. It's never, ever, ever the public that turns in a real
No,
estate agent.
it's other
It's
agents. Yep.
other real estate agents that are jelly.
Very.
Yeah. Question: what do you do for rich foreigners from all over the world going to come buy our houses if we keep building? We are not building. We're at a
Oh,
15-year low of building
yeah.
houses. We're
Yeah,
not building.
we're not. We stopped building in 2008.
Yeah.
Basically,
And it's gone down every year since then.
Yep.
And then they had stopped building at the beginning of the pandemic. They were like, we're going to wait this out. And then they were like, crap, we shouldn't have waited this out. Then they were playing the catch up game. And then they raked people over the coals because there wasn't enough housing. There is a supply shortage. And then the most people trying to buy homes right now are millennials, and they're older millennials that have a bigger nest egg. So they've been buying everything. Like they've been trying to buy, but they're having a hard time finding anything because there isn't enough houses built.
Exactly. I got to say that takes up that's the largest part of my client base right now are millennials. They're looking to buy, older millennials.
Yeah. Older millennials looking to buy their very first home. And they've saved a bunch of money.
Yep.
I bought a piece of land for a custom home. Do you have any advice, ladies? What you got? I've got tons of advice.
What do you got?
So like when you bought this piece of land, I would want to know, like, is it in a neighborhood? Has the utilities been established already? Have you done a soil test, soil compaction test? Have you met with the architect to make sure that your house plans will fit on that specific lot? You want to make sure your setbacks are right, because even though you found this lot and you want to put it you want to put the house in the back, you might find out your setbacks are a lot further up, so your house will be closer to the road. How hard is it going to be to get utilities to that specific area? You're going to have a hard time getting internet to the area. What are the schools like? What's the road like? I mean, there's a million things you need to know, but I actually have a whole bucket of content when it relates to buying land for a home. And all you have to do is look in my playlist and look for land. You probably see a picture of a thumbnail with me holding a pitchfork and overalls. And that starts numerous videos about buying land for a house, numerous.
Yep.
So she bought a piece of a lot in California. What advice do you give for construction loans, please? It depends on what kind of house you're going to build. So if you're going to get a new construction loan, make sure you work closely with your lender. Find out if you can roll in the mortgage that you possibly have with the land to the house. If you've already purchased it cash, then you want to tie in the land and the house together so it becomes real property, and it's taxed as such. What do you have to say?
No, I agree with you. That's exactly it. Because like I said, I'm reading this and I'm assuming she already bought the lot with cash or whatever. So,
We have 420 people watching. 420.
Really? Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God, Kristina.
Oh my God. I'm so immature. Okay. Oh, look, there's me. Playlist. Oh, Eddie's going to show you right here. Buying land right there. Hey. There's the playlist. You just go to the playlist tabs on my channel, hit playlist, and there you are, buying land. 10 videos for you to absorb.
Nice. Nice.
Eddie, if you would put that super chat up, I would greatly appreciate it. I love you. Thank you. He's going to put that super chat up there because it's Simon Smith. I want to hear what Simon says. Here it is. Simon says. I'm sure he's never heard that. I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't bring up any childhood trauma. I plan to use the same agent who I hired to buy a house in 2019. Will she help me set the price, or do I expect to do tons of research? I have plenty of equity price appreciation, so I want a fair price. So Simon, when I'm hoping this is what you should be getting from your real estate agent, is something called a CMA, cost market analysis. And what that is that it shows all the houses that relate to your home within so many square mile radius. It may even just be direct to your neighborhood, that have the same amenities as you, that have sold in the last 3 to 6 months. How many that are pending, and how many that are under contract at this time. You'll be able to understand and set your price with the things that have closed most recently. Don't look backwards and say, well, that person sold it 6 months ago for that amount of money. That's what I want to sell it for, because the market that we had 6 months ago is not the same market as we have now. Listen to the advice of your real estate agent when it comes to pricing your house. If you do not agree with them, don't fire them immediately. Just say, let me think about it. Then call another real estate office and ask them to give you a CMA, cost market analysis. Interview them, see what they have to say. And if you're still not satisfied, say, I will call you. Let me call somewhere else. And then you call one more office or 2 more offices. And then you can compare all of their pricing together. This is an interview process. You're hiring a real estate agent, whether you have a past relationship or not. If you do not feel comfortable with the pricing that they have done for you, or something they said feels off, follow your gut and interview a bunch of different real estate agents. No, you don't want to do more than 5, because then you're going to get overloaded. But keep a spreadsheet, do some pros and cons, and then also compare everything that everybody had said about your home and the pricing, and average that out. Because then you're going to see what your pricing probably should be by those CMAs. It all relates to the comps they decided to pull when they did your pricing, and see if those comps that they pulled really do fall in line with the house that you're trying to sell. So that's my advice. What do you say, Jackie?
That's good advice. That's very good advice. No, but the other thing I wanted to add to that, just make sure they're not going to give you say, oh, I could sell it whatever, 100,000 more or whatever, give you a ridiculous price just so they can get your listing. Okay. Because there's a lot of agents that'll do that. They'll, if you have a price in mind, which really isn't realistic to the market, and they'll be like, yeah, sure. Well, let's try it, just so they can get your listing. don't do that.
Run
Don't.
away.
Trust the market and make sure, like Kristina said, you can't go back 6 months. You got to go the most recent, and they would even have to check. Like what I would do is I'll see what's sold. I mean, not much is sold, but I'll go back like little as a month to 3 months to see what is sold in this current market, and I'll even look at what's currently under contract, and I'll call that agent. What?
I said that.
I don't know, but I'm saying I know you said that, but I didn't. I'm just saying. But you call, you call them. I call the agents and I find out what the I find out what the sale price is. But yeah, don't. The biggest piece of advice though, don't let them say, tell you, yeah, I could sell it for this much over asking, or wait, that guy sold it for that price 6 months ago. Yeah, we can get that price. No. So that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weeby says, just bought our first home condo. Woo! In San Diego. Super excited, but it also needs a lot of hard work. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Yes. Congrats. Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy
San Diego is
that.
a great area. Dan Pack is over there in San Diego.
Yeah.
Lawnmower says, hit the like button at Jerome Bell. We'll sell your information to car warranty people. Love you, Lawnmower. Love you, Lawnmower. I hope everybody has a fantastic week this week. If you want to talk about something real estate related next week, let me know in the comment section below. Once this live stream is done, Eddie and I are actually going to be turning these live streams into podcasts. That was something that we learned over the past week. So we are going to be soon beyond like Spotify and stuff like that. So if you don't want to sit here for the whole entire hour, but you do like to listen to us, you don't have to turn on YouTube. You could just turn on your old Spotify. And when that is available, I'll let you know, but it is coming up. And I'm only putting it out there in the universe to keep myself accountable. As you know, you want to get a hold of Jackie, just go Jackie Baker on YouTube. Jackie Baker in New Jersey. She's got all the great information. So make sure you go over there, you can say hello to her, and she can get in contact with her.
Thank
if you.
you.
Need a referral from me, I will not be slacking like I was last week. You just go to my website, KristinaSmallhorn.com. You hit on any of the buttons there and you fill out the referral form. Please, 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 for all that's holy, please leave your email address and whether you're buying or selling a home so I can connect you with the right real estate agents and we can have a conversation on the phone. I look forward to speaking to everybody because I always do. All right, everybody. I hope you have a really fantastic week. I've enjoyed spending my day with you and I hope you enjoyed spending your day with us. The real estate market will continue to go crazy and we're still going to be talking about it every single week because I can't help myself. I just love it. I love it. So are we hitting any words for Jackie Baker? What do you want to say, Jackie?
No, nothing. Thanks for letting me join you again. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, coffee talk with Jackie.
Coffee. I think we should call ourselves Coffee Talk. Yes.
Coffee Talk with Jackie Baker with Kristina Smallhorn. Anyway. So long, everybody. I love you. I mean it. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Oh, he's got some groovy music today. It's not dancing. It's more like I feel like
it's more like chill music. Like
I think it's like corporate inspirational. It should make you feel like inspired about your weekend and your whole entire day. Inspired about football games that are all over television on every single room in your house.
Yeah, but you need to watch us.
I don't want to watch football.
Me neither.